So, the England national team has finalised the squad for this FIFA day. And as usual, every time the team is called up, the media and press keep raising questions about Thomas Tuchel's decisions. In this round, they will play 2 matches against Wales and the Latvia national team. And to be frank, these are not matches where England needs to field their strongest lineup. The 2026 World Cup qualifiers in England's group consist of 8 matches. They have played 5 and won all 5, while also holding a 7-point lead over second-placed Albania. Therefore, in fact, securing a spot at the World Cup finals is not something too difficult. And they may well clinch that ticket in this very round. But now comes the real point we need to talk about: the current call-up list. The latest England squad under Thomas Tuchel is truly a reflection of his footballing philosophy. Balance, fighting spirit, and a touch of boldness. Looking at each name, one can see that this is not merely a collection of the most informed players, but also a strategic selection meant to shape the team's style of play for the coming phase. Starting from the goal, the presence of Jordan Pickford is, of course, a given, although sometimes a subject of debate at club level. He has consistently shown reliability, experience, and command of the penalty area when playing for the national team. Dean Henderson has been called up to provide competitive pressure after enjoying a remarkable revival season. But the most notable inclusion is James Trafford, the young goalkeeper owned by Manchester City, who is regarded as an investment for the future. Tuchel's decision to bring Trafford into the squad is not necessarily to start him right away, but rather a statement that he is preparing a new generation, ready to step in once Pickford moves past his prime. In defense, the balance between experience and youth is clearly evident. John Stones, the symbol of composure, continues to be the leader of the backline. His intelligence in movement, ability to evade pressing, and skill in building play from the back are the key elements in any system that Thomas Tuchel looks to establish. Mark Gahey and Ezri Konsa, 2 typical Premier League centre-backs, have been selected for their solidity, one-on-one defending, and flexibility when required to play wide. Dan Burn brings the advantage of height, an extremely important factor when facing opponents who favor aerial play. In addition, Jarell Quansah, a product of Liverpool's academy, promises to become a long-term asset for the team. More noteworthy than anything else is the inclusion of Lewis Skelly, a teenage talent from Arsenal. Not many managers would dare to give such an inexperienced player a chance, but Thomas Tuchel has done it. And he has done it before. This is not only a recognition of his talent but also a strategic move to nurture a generation of young players who will grow and mature within Tuchel's system from an early stage. The fact that Lewis Skelly continues to be called up, despite limited playing time at club level, makes it clear that he is already part of Tuchel's core group of regular selections. Reece James makes his return, and if he can fully regain his form, he will be a dangerous weapon on both flanks. DJ Spence, once forgotten at Tottenham, is now experiencing a strong resurgence and has earned a surprise call-up thanks to his excellent form. This is also a clear signal that Thomas Tuchel is ready to give opportunities to anyone who proves to be the right fit. The midfield is the heart of the team, and this is also where Thomas Tuchel has sprung the biggest surprises. Declan Rice remains the irreplaceable anchor, with his ability to read the game, control the tempo, and provide cover. But around Rice, Tuchel has chosen a very different path. Jordan Henderson, despite leaving Liverpool and testing himself in various new environments, is still trusted. He brings experience, leadership, and discipline, qualities that Tuchel values more highly than just youthful energy. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, once thought to have been forgotten, has also been given the chance to return. It may be that Thomas Tuchel sees in him ball control, physical strength, and versatility, qualities that can complement Declan Rice. Elliot Anderson, Morgan Gibbs-White, and Morgan Rogers are a different story. They represent youth and creativity. Gibbs-White has been praised for his inventive passing and high work rate at Nottingham Forest, while Rogers is rapidly rising at Aston Villa. These are not yet superstar names, but they fit perfectly with Thomas Tuchel's vision of shifting the tempo and injecting fresh energy into the team. In attack, captain Harry Kane remains the guiding light, even after leaving the Premier League to seek new challenges. Kane continues to maintain his killer instinct in his role as a focal point for his teammates. Alongside him, Bukayo Saka is the trump card on the right wing, having recovered from injury and ready to return. Marcus Rashford is also included. Whether at Manchester United or now at Barcelona, he has always been the kind of player capable of exploding in a single moment. And of course, there is no reason not to call him up. His 7 direct goal contributions since the start of the season at Barcelona are the clearest proof of the excellent form of this forward from the Carrington Academy. Ollie Watkins brings versatility. He can play as a pressing center forward and rotate with Harry Kane when needed. Jared Bowen, Anthony Gordon, and Eberechi form a highly promising trio on the wings. Bowen brings pace, directness, and fiery spirit. Gordon represents youthful energy, passion, and penetrating ability. Eberechi, however, is different, graceful, skillful, and able to produce moments of surprise. All three complement one another, providing multiple rotation options whenever Thomas Tuchel wants to change the tempo or look for a breakthrough from the bench. In the latest England call-up list, what sparks the most debate is not the names included, but rather the stars who have been left out. Phil Foden is the most regrettable omission. The Manchester City star has been in outstanding form, scoring, assisting, and playing a pivotal role in their attacking system. Yet Thomas Tuchel chose to leave him out, citing the need to maintain squad stability. For many fans, this is a difficult decision to accept, as Foden is exactly the kind of player who can produce a breakthrough at any moment. Jack Grealish finds himself in a similar situation after leaving Manchester City and rediscovering his form at Everton. He was even named Premier League Player of the Month thanks to a string of quality assists. Despite being in the midst of a career resurgence, he has not been included in the squad. If Foden represents finesse, then Grealish brings rhythm control and the ability to unsettle defenses from the wing. Both are the kinds of ingredients fans want to see in the national team. Without them, England's attack suddenly feels a bit too plain and straightforward. Jude Bellingham is a more special case. He is already a global star, the heartbeat of Real Madrid's play, and England's #1 hope. However, having just returned from shoulder surgery and not yet at his best condition, Thomas Tuchel has decided to let him sit this one out. It is a cautious move, but an understandable one. But for the fans, the image of an England squad without Bellingham still leaves a sense of emptiness. Alongside that, young talent Adam Wharton, Crystal Palace's promising midfielder, has also not been given an opportunity. Wharton is naturally a material for the future. But in this call-up, Tuchel has chosen experience over taking risks with inexperience. Beyond the names already mentioned, the list of absentees is even longer due to injuries. Valentino Livramento is sidelined with a knee injury, while Noni Madueke, the pacey right-winger full of promise, has had to make way for Bukayo Saka. These setbacks deprive the national team of several diverse attacking options. Looking at the bigger picture, Thomas Tuchel's decisions reflect discipline and solidity, but they also resemble the building of a sturdy wall, strong and secure, yet lacking openings for moments of brilliance. The Three Lions may be safer and more stable, but at the same time, they are missing that spark of creativity that fans always long to see in major tournaments. When announcing this squad, Thomas Tuchel immediately faced a wave of questions about why big stars like Bellingham, Foden, or Jack Grealish were absent. He gave a clear explanation regarding Bellingham. The youngster absolutely deserves to always be in the national team. But at the moment, Jude has not yet fully regained his match rhythm. For Thomas Tuchel, no matter how talented Real Madrid's star may be, without full fitness and top form, there are no privileges. When asked whether he could have called up Bellingham if he wanted, Tuchel was frank. We decided to recall exactly the squad that set the standard in the previous camp. And that principle also applies here as we stick to our decision. In response to complaints about leaving out Foden or Grealish, Thomas Tuchel also maintained a consistent stance. In the last camp, we reached a new standard. So why not continue to trust the players who achieved that, as long as they are still ready? From another perspective, this is not just about player selection but also about the message Thomas Tuchel is sending. The England team cannot revolve around just a few stars. He emphasized that in football, there is never a solution that depends on a single player. To dispel all doubts, Thomas Tuchel also affirmed that his decisions are entirely based on professional considerations. Everything is grounded in footballing reasons. There are no personal issues or conflicts involved. With these statements, Tuchel has made it clear that he wants to shape England in his own way, prioritizing stability and discipline over individual reputation. But clearly, this choice is also a gamble. If the team performs well, Tuchel will be praised as courageous and uncompromising. On the other hand, just one poor result would see public opinion immediately point to the absence of Foden, Grealish, and Bellingham as grounds for harsh criticism. So, let's wish the England manager strength and resilience, because all the emotions, judgments, and criticisms will only truly arrive after the 2026 World Cup. And if he succeeds at that moment, then all the whispers and doubts will instantly fall silent.